Scorpio, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy for the month of December via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. We are into the first week of December. I apologize. These readings are just coming out for you. We started off the month with a full moon in Gemini. Part of the reason why it's been taken a minute, I should say, to upload, we're coming from a really emotional Scorpio season. Scorpio is water energy. We've had a lot of planetary placements in water signs. It is really heightening our feelings, our emotions around situations, triggering things that we might not be expecting. And Jupiter is in retrograde in Cancer for the whole month. So Jupiter deals with our fortune, our abundance, the things that we feel like are working for us in our life. And we're coming into some proverbial brick walls where we do have to do some reevaluation. But it's interesting, we've kind of been in this space for a hot minute. I don't think I'm saying anything that new, because there also is a slow pace to the overarching energy in the collective. Take your time. We've had a lot of retrogrades recently, so not everything has to be figured out tomorrow, and more specifically around the things that are close to our heart that we really do want to see manifest, those things that like bring us stability, nourishment, support in our lives. That's why I'm starting off with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might feel blocked or limited. It's a great time to set your own intention for the reading as well, especially if you do have something on your heart or mind and you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around that. Definitely give it over, be open to receive. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing wellness services, and readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in a realignment of self, your mind, body, soul, reconnecting back to you. I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. When we're aligned, that's when we're manifesting our best life, right? That's where we're really kind of stepping in tune with nature and manifestation and abundance and success, because we know when to give, we know when to wait for a little bit, etc. And I would love to help support that in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up, Scorpio. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly. Help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love, Mama love. Very smoky. It's like getting to me a little bit. My allergies are a little through the roof, so bear with me if I'm a little sniffly. This energy I'm picking up from you, Scorpio, is like, I feel like you're putting a pause on something. I feel like I kind of was seeing you waiting, watching in the background, or just kind of maybe waiting to see how certain things unfold, waiting to see what shakes out of certain dynamics. There is this hint of giving up, a giving up energy, perhaps feeling a little bit hopeless or not really sure how things are going to go moving forward. With that full moon in Gemini, it does highlight the duality of things. It does highlight the things that we might have been missing. And so I feel like with all the emotions that we were experiencing during Scorpio season, now we kind of have to like check it with reality. Is this really what this is? Or do I have to make some readjustments that are actually going to serve me better down the long run? Questions that are important, especially right now, especially as Pluto has moved into Aquarius. I love that your energy is coming up strong. You're coming up intentional. You're coming up powerful, but it's not an arrogant type of power. It's a self-assured. Even if you are going back to the drawing board, even if you have to take a different approach, I don't hear that you're shaming yourself in order to make readjustments. You know, sometimes we get down on ourselves or super critical, right? Especially when emotions are running high. You might even have someone or something who triggers those emotions. We're coming up with the Anima card. It's the Divine Masculine card. Improbability is in your blocked energy this month. So like I said, there is an element of hope, even if you have kind of given up. Even if you, because I was hearing with that like waiting and watching energy, you might not think something's going to work out, but there still is that glimmer of hope to whatever capacity. And this could be your energy of really working with the magic. It has this kind of magician vibe to it. The magician uses all the elements all the tools that he has, past experience, wisdom, you know, whatever he needs to kind of push things forward towards his will. It is a little manipulative. We all manipulate to some capacity. I'm not talking about like bad manipulation, like where you're trying to force someone against their own will, or, you know, we're not into that at this channel. I think it's kind of hard to contend with beginning of the month because their emotions are running high is what it looks like for you. Emotions are running high. It's keeping you a little bit stuck, maybe even in the past. So be mindful. You might have a need or a reaction to like push your agenda along, especially coming in as the King of Cups. It's the masculine side of water energy. And when he's not in his best form, he can try to push his agenda, use emotional manipulation, since we're on the topic. Not accusing you of that. I just see that there's some things that are happening. Look at this guy as I'm saying that ship in the background. Exactly what I was talking about for you. There's some things that are happening that are tough. And I feel like you are actually making a mature decision to disconnect your energy. Maybe you are recognizing how emotional something is making you. And it's making you emotional in this way that like it is inhibiting you or your ability to be able to kind of like cultivate those forces that I was talking about. Because again, the Six of Swords is in your blocked energy. Four of Wands, home, family, you might have some things that you need to just pay attention to. This week especially, Neptune's gonna go direct this week. And so it gives us an opportunity to have more clarity, more insight, and therefore like guidance for ourselves on what we need to do. Again, because when we are leveling up, this to me is just like building upon the foundation that you've already set. It can symbolize cycles and patterns, but it's growth, it's evolution, it's things that we build upon each other to become stronger versions of ourselves, or you know, kind of bring about this life that you're trying to achieve. And there often is a fine balance between pushing the energy and knowing when we need to let go. And that's what this Six of Swords is telling me. I think by the end of the first week, you are more open to other ideas. It's showing up as the Eight of Pentacles. You want to be open. You want to be willing to work. You're understanding that you have to open up more channels anyway in order to get to where you're going. Again, something that you might not think realistically could happen, but it's like a last ditch effort is what I'm hearing. to whatever that means. I'm not saying if you're not planning on leaving a situation, you have to cut it off. It's not about that. Mid-month, we have, so as the week progresses, Mercury is going to enter Sagittarius. And so we have to be, like I'm hearing with this everydayness, Scorpio, this is a lot about you tempering forces, like you're clear about what you want, but there are some bumps that are coming into play, and bumps that are shaking you up in a way that might be debilitating or destabilizing is what I want, right? Like they kind of just throw you off course. You might revert to some patterns. You might get upset. You might get emotional. You might, whatever, do something that kind of becomes counterintuitive to what you want. And I feel like that's where this everydayness is so powerful in your energy. Mars is going to enter Capricorn. So whatever we're mid-month, so whatever we're saying we want to commit to, we actually have to. And there's going to be some work behind it. Mars has not been a happy camper lately. There's been a lot of slow energy. There's been a lot of blocks, obstacles to what we're going after. There's our Queen of Cups. Maybe someone needs to see you a little bit more even keeled, because here's the deal. With the King of Cups, this is all about, okay, sorry, I got distracted. Noise in the background. But when he's in like his higher vibration, the message is like he knows how to ride the waves of emotion. We all know those people that like are just very solid within themselves, that they don't let things teeter them or push them one way or another. You know, it's like that person that's able to kind of say, okay, like let me process it through and, you know, get back with you or whatever, right? Just someone who's very emotionally mature. It looks like this Queen of Cups is looking for that from you. Whoever this is to you, it could be a partner. It doesn't have to be love. It could come across in many different ways. Someone who's taking a different approach. Someone who's taking a different approach. This is definitely someone that you're dealing with this month. But they're taking a different approach. They have a plan of action in mind. And honestly, it's based off the information that you're giving them. And I think that that's where, be really mindful of how you're setting yourself up this month, Scorpio. Making sure that you're not like diving down the slippery slope of control. The masculine energy can be very forceful. It can be aggressive. It can be manipulative and controlling in its negative form. And that's basically what it's like you're trying to work against this month. Someone's taking inventory and they're trying to figure out, well, it does look like someone's putting some type of plan into action. And maybe it's just because things are building and things are mounting this month with whatever this is for you. It does look like someone's preparing, and I don't necessarily, maybe this is you, you know, take it how it resonates. It could also be multiple situations that you're coming into throughout the month. I want to pull on this anima just to kind of balance the energy out for a minute. We get 7 of Wands. Something is changing your perspective. Maybe not taking enough time to think, or someone hasn't been thinking things through. It looks like someone is kind of shooting themselves in the foot. And I feel like this is happening a lot throughout the month. You might even be having a lot of ups and downs. And again, whether this is like your stuff or someone else's stuff or the combination of both, it looks like there's a lot of back and forth between either two people or between you and another situation that is really asking for some level of control. That's why it's being highlighted, because both people, both situations have different perceptions. And one thinks that they're communicating what they want, but not. Another person is like, I need you to show me, and you're not. And so there's a lot of disconnects. But again, that's kind of where this energy of Mars can get us into trouble if we're pushing the agenda forward too quickly. And Black Moon Lilith enters Sagittarius on the 20th. We have a new moon in Sagittarius. Our new moons are happening like at the tail end of the zodiac. So new moon in Sagittarius, I think, really talks about how we're getting clear on these types of dynamics throughout the month. And then once that new moon energy hits, it's like, okay, I'm like ready for the next step. You know, we're feeling more empowered. Astrologically, things look nice. There's some tension, there's some frustration throughout the month. I'm not saying it's not there, but overall, there's a lot of support. There's a lot of support, and there's a lot of ability to, if we can like either rise above or not let those triggering things push us off course, like we talked about in the very beginning, being strong within self, right? And again, I'm not talking about it in a way of like, don't listen to your emotions or disconnect from yourself or don't feel. It's not about that. It's about the way we present ourselves, right? And the amount of like emotional strength we can have to navigate situations. There's obviously a huge difference when someone reacts and is all like angry and crazy and screaming and yelling and Lord knows what comes out of the mouth, right? Versus someone who's like, well, pissed, but like, let me take a beat and think through this, and then we can come back and communicate. The result, it might be the same argument, the same anger, the same frustration, but the result of handling it in either way is going to produce incredibly different results. And it looks like someone's really struggling with that this month. Again, whether that's you, whether that's someone else, whether you've been trying to level with someone else and they're just not getting the hint. Again, because someone's asking for consistency. Someone's asking, like, show me. Like, if this is what you say you are, who you say, or how you're supposed to give, or whatever promise something's making, if this is the promise, then show me that you're actually going to deliver that. It looks like you're kind of ready to do that. I don't see this coming in a harsh way. Rubidium, this deck, this oracle, sorry, it's very beautiful. I'm going to read out of the book. It's very poetic. It's on the periodic table, the elements of the periodic table, silicone. And it's by this company, UC. They do a lot of really cool old world cards. It's all the cards, all the decks that I'm using today are from them. So enjoy. Aluminum. All right, so let's kind of see how this plays out. I am seeing this need for strength. I'm seeing this need for resilience. Again, it looks like this makes a lot of sense because it looks like there is a lot of back and forth throughout the month. And no one's really happy. I'm not sure that there's a lot of horrible energy going on. Like, it's not down and dirty. I'm not necessarily seeing that. But at the same time, there's a lot of frustrations. There's a lot of annoyances. There's a lot of opportunities to really figure out which way you're going to move, right? Back to what I was just saying. Are you going to be the person who reacts and goes ballistic? Or are you going to like calm your forces and, you know, empower yourself from that stance? All right, I'm just getting on my, oh wow, okay. So I love this. So rubidium is on page 31. Silicone is on 131 and aluminum is on 113. So lots of ones and threes. I love that. So this, in numerology, that talks a lot about like how we identify and individualize ourself, and then how that self interacts and engages in groups, in situations, in dynamics where there's a lot of people. And there is this need, Three of Pentacles, to work together. It's not always easy. And right now, things are just tense, right? Like, people are opinionated. We want everybody to believe the same thing we do. It can get annoying when we don't. And that's really being challenged with all of us, you know? How can we live open-mindedly? I don't know, non-judgment. How can we allow others to be what they need to be, but still kind of have that moral stability, whatever that means, right? So that we're not letting everybody run wild, I should say. It's not just others, right? We got to keep ourselves in check too. So rubidium is from an ancient warrior fraternity, elevated by their ability to calibrate time itself through the hyperfine energy throbbing in their deep red blood. Theirs is alchemic, magnetic, with roots hidden in the arcana. Highly reactive, this imperial society is not for the faint-hearted. Rubidium, like all the members of his lodge, is a radioactive warrior with a fire in his belly. A fearless explorer probing the unknown future by converging time into a strange and highly active light. Through his illuminated investigations, rubidium uncovers the lurking tumors, the corruptive agitations of fakery and decay, doing their awful work, concealed in dark matter of the universe. It symbolizes disguise, scientist, skeptic, unmasking, and precise. All right. I'll talk about it. I want to kind of get through these because I want to talk about it in a minute. Okay. Silicone. There is a shadow over silicone, a hidden drama of unappeased longing for life, frustrated by geometric and mathematical teasers that cool its flesh. Silicone tirelessly works to convince itself of the impossibility that its artificial construction can somehow place itself in a world of living things. Sadly, it is a transcendent goal, fatally doomed, for it struggles with the exact realization of this desire in the earthly realm. Working away at its superfluous tasks, the inherent source of this never explicit quest continues to elude this tortured thinker. Silicone is trapped as if between two mysterious circles, unable to bring one's self-wit closure to the goal of awakening its nature to a more profound sense of the human spirit. It symbolizes outsider, misunderstood, frustrations, yearning, stranger. And finally, aluminum is activated and a visionary. Aluminum is a dynamic presence with a prestigious landscape of supreme achievements trailing him. Flawlessly pragmatic, he has an affinity for collaborations that can fully exploit his creative, hard-working character and limitless potential. Technical perfection that triumphs over gravity are at the core of his inventive originality, giving him a confident swagger that boasts, "I can do it better." Aluminum is a mind that belongs to the future but carries the moment with effortless grace. It symbolizes driven, leader, genius, inventive, confident, and self-possessed. So I'm really hearing it's like a balance of forces, right? Like there's different perspectives, there's different understandings of maybe what these things should look like. And yeah, I feel like there's definitely places where they like magnify and like explode off of each other. And that really becomes the downside of emotional energy, is it can be very reactive. And as I'm saying this, we've had a lot of fire. We're in Sagittarius season. It's the fire energy and it's counteracting that water energy. And it can really fuel the fire, right? Like it can actually become destructive because one force is trying to find this strength, is trying to rely on maybe some old school ways of thinking or belief systems, and this other might just be a little bit despondent, you know. And these can even just be as simple as the force within, but both of them, the duality also allows us to get creative. It also allows us to overcome, to be better versions of ourselves, to figure out creative ways to move through, you know, and again push ourselves to more potential. It's interesting, you know, I think this month it's really hard to see where this potential is going and even if it exists. And I feel like that's kind of what is being discovered. A little to be determined. I like that we're ending on a good note of Three of Pentacles. It means that people are trying to work together to whatever capacity that means. But that's very contingent on all parties involved being honest, being aware, and really like saying like, okay, waving the white flag How can we allow the differing forces to actually strengthen the situation instead of implode us? So, Scorpio, thank you so much for your time, energy always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated here for you. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just say hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I do so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know it blesses my heart, and I'm sending love and blessings back to you. Have a great day.